Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. How are we all today? Welcome to Lite Byte, your Friday afternoon chill stream where we do something different every time at this point in time. We're just chilling. We're just having a nice, lovely time. So, for the uninitiated, my name is Cennamo-Smith. I am a crime fantasy author. I also write science fiction, horror, like humour stuff. I do a lot of writing, basically, and there are books available, there are series available, and it's all a lot of fun. What this stream is, it's a break from writing and doing other work and admin and stuff. I've got a lot of admin to do at the moment. This is a break to chill over a lunch stream and just have a nice little time. That's a bit loud in my ear. It'll be loud in yours in a moment. So yeah. We take an hour to chill, do a little bit of art, sometimes play some games depending on what we're in the mood for, sometimes to do something work related, but I just have a little hangout and chill to make it less extreme. What we are doing today is we are going to pretty much continue what we were doing last week, which was our little sci-fi cover. There's absolutely no reason for this. I was just in the mood to do some more cover work because I've not had reason to do anything in a while. I've recently updated the Rat King cover because that's coming out in Christmas. And the series needed a brand new cover for the complete novel, or the complete novelisation of the series. So, there's that, that's all we have. If you enjoy this stream, which I hope you do, join in the chat, say hello, I'll give you a wave, I'll talk back, it's interactive, it's great. It's not VOD, it's real, I'm here. And I'm a bit weird. Yeah, you will hear, as I push this button, some chill vibes, some chill music. This is provided to us today by Otterspace Lo-Fi, also available on YouTube. So go and check those out. YouTube keeps giving me picture-in-picture, which is very off-putting. But right now, that's enough of an intro. If you're curious about any of the things I've been talking about previously, there's some things scrolling along the bottom of the screen, which is where you can find me pretty much any time. But yeah, Patreon, Instagram, Discord, Twitch, YouTube, website, all of that jazz. That's all available right there. But right now, what we are doing is going here. Hang about. There we go. That worked. You've got to make sure everything's visible. So this is kind of where we left off last week. Why is that not working well? It might be because I'm not. That's the wrong. There we go. There we go. That works. So yeah, this is kind of where we left off last week. It looks naff, and that's fine. Naff is kind of where we're at right now. And we are just kind of going for it and seeing how things go. Is that shading? Yeah, let's get rid of that shading. I don't really like that. But we can get rid of it. We can just kind of see how things go. Let's do a bit of a background as well whilst we're here. So let's just jump straight into it. Typical. Nobody wants you all morning. The second you start doing something, you get a message. Anyway, where were we? Yeah, let's just jump straight into this. And yeah, so I don't know what we're gonna do. The white background is kind of putting me off, but I don't want it to be like a flat black or white. I want it to be a little bit more interesting. So let's just faff with some buttons and. Let's shift. That should be enough actually, just start shifting things. Let's just. The void of space. That's a bit too. Is that per? Ah, that's why it's applied per tip. Ooh. let's try that again. Let's what happens if we just let's make the pen multiplies always. It's nice just to have something other than white to work on, because it means you can see where things pop and where things don't. But how's everybody's week been? What's everybody been up to? Again, don't take this as any kind of tutorial, as if I know what I'm doing. I'm a 3D artist, this is just me dabbling and having a bit of fun. Let's turn off Color Dynamics now, I don't really want any more of that. I am also trying out a new brush because it was interesting. Right. We need to work out, I think, where the light and dark sections of this ship are. So we need to work out where the sun is. Because we've got 3 planets where we've got no kind of direction for where the sun's coming from. So let's just, for shits and giggles, just more brush. We're going to come from like this way. Let's put you on top of everything. So if we come this way, this side needs to be illuminated because the shadow on this side. Or if we come from back, from behind us, like so the world itself will be illuminated. We can put some shadows on there. We can have like longer, dragged out shadows along that way. It can't be coming this way, question, because we would see it and it would be blinding unless we decide to put like a sun like right there. Like off in the distance, that could give us some nice kind of like solar flary effects as well. So you know, where it all kind of flares out. Welcome to my art, the way I work and the way I think. Let's actually try that. So, if we are having the light coming from this way, where would the shadows be? It would be kind of, everything would be kind of along this way. This is the wrong colour for shadows. There we go. Let's try that again. Right, we want some shadowy colour. Now, we don't want black because shadows really aren't black. Deeper blue, I like a dark blue. So let's see. If we were shadows. So she look like we have longer shadows come through here. This also needs much more detail into it. Again, this is why I prefer working in 3D, because I can really see how things are going. Mess around with the light and shadows a lot more and it just looks a bit more effective. I could just start doing this straight in 3D, but also don't know why I decided to draw all the spaceships as massive cursors. Should we? Yeah, let's keep trucking along. Let's keep it going. So I didn't put short keys in those buttons. That's irritating. So I'm gonna. These are the taller sections of the ship, or should they actually? Would it be? Again, we're just faffing. What if these were like the indents? So we've got this side is going to be darker. Turrets and whatever. We've got an indent here, which is the shadows kind of leaning into two more. Darker those are than everything else at the moment. I'm aware there will be some bits that are darker than others, but before we even start working shadows, do we need more detail in this? That's going to be shadows and highlights on the same layer just to mess with things a little, because again I'm just working things out and just seeing how it kind of plays out. Nowhere near a finished or final thing. This is still just like the sketching and planning out stage for something that doesn't exist, because I have not written anything this level of sci-fi. My sci-fi stories at the moment have remained firmly on Earth. Random TV Arts. Hello, what are you drawing? This is the thing. Not entirely sure. I was in the mood the other weekend to try and draw something that looked vaguely like a sci-fi cover, even despite the fact I've yet to write anything sci-fi. So this is just pretty much a thought experiment rather of how it would go about, how it would look. So we're just messing around and seeing how it works. It's clearly shite at the moment, which is fine. Sketching stages are meant to be shite. Always say when people ask about writing, so the best thing about a first draft is no one's going to read it apart from yourself, so it doesn't matter how bad it is, because you're the only one that's going to be judging it, only one that's going to be seeing it, so nothing to worry about. This is the same case, except for some reason I'm live streaming it. I'm just playing to see what it would be like if we had effectively a light source coming from this direction. Nope, that didn't work at all. Oh, that's why. Yeah, how are you? What brings you here? Welcome. I'm just trying to work out where would be the best places to have like the shadow coming off this. I don't know why. I think it would help me plan out the design of where I want things to go, where I want the details to be, because it does look, for the most part, very, very dull at the moment, which is entirely fair. That's the wrong way. Come on, bigger. We have kind of light streaming along there. We want the highlights to kind of be coming off that bit, which means this bit should be logically more in shadow. I was just looking at chill art streams and currently dealing with some chest pain. Ooh, is everything alright? Nothing serious, I hope. Chest pain is... chest pain ranges from that's inconvenient to go to the hospital, so I'm hoping we're at the latter end of I just need some painkillers. Oh, thank you. Hopefully it'll look better once I decide what I'm doing, because again at the minute this is all just let's not bother with layers at the moment because we sort of don't really know. Yeah, because again as well, if we had the light coming from that, there we go. If we had the light coming from this direction with us, with our point of light being there, nothing too serious. It started yesterday, but I'm fine for now. If it persists and you're not in a country where they charge you for basic medical care, I would recommend getting that checked. I also suffer from a problem with my breastbone, so I know how inconvenient it can be. But yeah, I also know there are some countries where healthcare isn't considered a human. Oh, what's the word? Yeah, basic human rights. You don't want the you don't want the planet to be the dark bit. Do you? You want maybe light to be coming from one section, so it's going to come down one side. There we go. That's how we work this out, because that's going to look dull if unless again. See, it's a constant what if experiment of. Let's just go back to a normal round brush. Oops. This would look very dull if you've got like the shadow of practically it being night on this side of the planet, unless you've got like a smattering of like lights coming off. Like you can see where the populaces are and whatnot. If you get what I mean. I also wonder why my sketch pad is covered in little dents. This might be why. Could be like a night scene. You know what? I'm going to table all of that. Okay. I'm going to table that for directional stuff. And if we think of having the light from this kind of angle, this one here, so we're going I need to stop doing, yeah, so we have the light coming from like this angle now. That doesn't work, I don't think it's going to be as good. Although it would have been nice to have some solvers, we can still perhaps do that, we can faff around. So if we have light coming from that kind of angle, get bigger. Nope, that's the wrong button. I do know my short keys. So all shaded down one side, and you've got the alternate effect of the light being kind of coming across there, highlighting. Got a bit more contrast and everything as well. Just a little bit of shadow coming up there, a little bit of shadow coming up there and there. Highlights coming along. It's crazy to think that you only have 6 subs. The usual algorithm was not being nice. Yeah. To be fair, I don't blame it. There are much more talented people. There are much more talented people on the internet than I. I write books for a living. That's what I do. So the art side of it, I do also do cover art and whatnot, but I haven't streamed much of it. This is kind of a thing that I've started semi-recently, just for fun and to try and encourage people to look at some books. So if books are your thing, hi, we can talk. Yeah, I do not blame the algorithm for anything. There's a lot on the internet and it's incredibly difficult to do anything. So, c'est la vie, it is what it is. I'm also very blasé about it, so yeah. Also, I find that the sketching stage of things is somewhat tedious and go away. Sorry, for some reason I just got a notification that I could be saving money on my internet security. which is great, but not really the time for it. I do like your screen. I have a feeling you spend a lot of time looking for random TV art. Not sure what's giving me that impression, but you seem like the type. Either way, welcome. You're welcome to stay as long as you like or leave whenever you want to. It's always nice to have people here. There we go, that can be our... I need to change this one because I keep putting them backwards. These are going to be some towers. Will those work better as indents or towers? I think that just looks a bit confusing at the moment. I think when you see things like that, you think towers, so... Also, if it's the light is coming from, when did I decide it was coming from? If it is coming from a that-a-ways direction, that way it would have more of a, yeah, those shadows would be longer in the this-away direction. Yeah, there we go. Directional shadows is the way forward. Almost like there's a reason for doing things in a certain direction. Okay, how else can you do that? Just no. Smaller. Just a slight highlight on those front and side faces. There is a good chance all of this will be for nothing if I decide to move forward with whatever this is. Because I will be building this ship fully 3D and then using that for the light shows. But this is still a fun little exercise. It's always good to practice things that you're not very good at. What is occurring? Come on. Telephone, do things you're supposed to do. Right, what's occurring? Oh dear. My feed stopped. There we go. So again. It's definitely a reason that you do shadows and highlights on separate layers, because unless I do just duplicate the layer. This bit would all be shaded out. This on the dark side of the ship. The nose, however, I think would be mostly highlighted. That's going to be the contrasting point. Oops. pressing my short keys more. I've got to keep reaching forward to my keyboard. Somewhat inconvenient, but hey ho. Right. Let's also maybe focusing on doing just one thing at a time might also help. Sorry if the clicking's irritating. I don't know how to stop my microphone from picking that up. Oh no, that's wrong. That needs to go away. So does that one. Yeah. At the minute, this is all looking very empty. And unexciting, which fair enough. Right. Where's the screen? Soft light. There we go. That actually already just makes all the difference. I know the line work is still red. Though lineless looks alright, just to tidy that up. Lineless there is not too bad. Okay, I'm getting into this a bit more now. Let's turn off soft light so I can see. Right. Note to self. Update hotkeys, add more hotkeys to tablet. As well because there's a quicker way of doing this. No, that was not close enough. Solved, there we go. Because those bits are all windows, so they would not be shadow, there would be light emitting from those. So even on the highlighted areas there would be shadow coming off those, as with here. Oops, it's too thick. You would have your highlighted edges along there. Still going to be there. It's kind of streaking across, and that's actually. So if the light is coming this way, it would still streak across the upper decks. Thinking things through. I think it's all with a lot of art stuff that you see on Tinternet. You only see the finished product, so I hope at the very least this kind of goes some way into showing the full level of chaos that comes off of it, or comes before all of the lovely stuff that you see on Instagram, Facebook and all those sorts of art pages. Because everything starts with a blank canvas, as they say. this is, but it looks like a nose. Okay. Again, we'd have a similar thing if the light's coming on here this side. Let's do these little ships as well, just to fill everything out. Of course, removing. Let's just soft light, remove the lines. It's looking not too bad. It's a good kind of concept sketch. Right, let's leave that alone for what's in there. Oh, all the moons. That's where those are. Cool. Right, okay. Let's pick a colour, let's pick a colour, let's pick a colour, let's go for a nice orange. So that's the colourblind man. No, come on. Easy fix. Go for tidy that up. Get rid of these. Right, any edges. Oh, that's why I put a mask on there. That was redundant. What I need to do is plug stating red lines, and you move under Starship. Problem solved. Right. planets. Simple. Right. And that landmass goes there. Here's the solution. Right. Just going to tidy up some lines now for no other reason than I want to kind of start making it look a bit neater. It doesn't need to be perfect. But I might use this as the baseline for the actual texture when/if I go 3D with this. You know what? For the next one, for next Friday, I am going to do this in 3D. We'll start with the planets because they're the easy bits to do and they're the bits we've got to put in position. But after that, so we can do effectively making a planet texture in Photoshop to be then used in 3D space. Because there's lots of ways you can do it, especially if you don't just want to use Earth or an existing planet. And it's easier than you'd think, and a lot of fun, especially if you want to start getting into like deserts and whatnot. Rocky with this planet now. Right. Crunchy spine. Don't know how all those are, but I've been thinking, but as much as I hated it, didn't hate it as much as it kind of fully broke me as a person. The summer project where I streamed every night for the majority of August for a couple of hours. I did kind of quite enjoy having the time to do stuff, but I think the problem was I gave myself an actual target and a deadline. When things weren't going to said deadline, or when I was hitting kind of walls or having issues with stuff, it kind of caused a bit of stress, which is not good when I'm already relatively stressed about just gestures to the world in general. There's a lot going on, both everywhere and anywhere. All significantly more than I need to worry about in my daily life, but adding to getting off topic. Yeah, the streams were fun. It was nice kind of hanging out and being here, and I do enjoy the drawing, so I like doing things like this when it's just chill and chatting. So my main problem when it comes to streaming at the moment is that my office, right here where I'm currently working, is immediately next to my child's bedroom. So doing late night streams not ideal because I have to speak in a hushed voice, or turn up the microphone a hell of a lot. I have to kind of worry about the amount of noise and conversation that I'm making because I don't want to obviously wake her up. Let's go for like a dirty green. Yeah. So obviously that's a concern. What is also a concern is, more so than waking up Tiny Human, is waking up the larger human that I live with, aka spouse. However, at some point in the next month or so, which is another reason for my added level of stress at the moment, I shall be moving to a new home where the office is nowhere near the bedrooms. So I might, once move is all settled in, I might go back to nightly streams for doing art and book stuff, or just being here and hanging out whilst getting some writing done, or doing some admin, or generally just chilling out and being on the interwebs. Put some music on. I had an idea because I thought it'd be fun to do for a charity style stream if the option ever came up or ever occurred. Maybe for a release, something like do giveaways and whatnot for book series, Patreon, all that sort of stuff. But that is definitely going to be from next year, I think. So from January, I might switch things up of how I operate and how I run this channel. Those more options will become available. One thing I'm definitely doing, because I think it'll be fun, before I've done anything else, before I even really have an office, whilst I'm moving, I'm going to, just for photo's sake, I will do it before and after of what my current office looks like for comparison, and then what it is when I'm finished with the move and modernisation and update and whatnot. But I was also thinking, whilst I just put my office together, just live streaming that entire thing, because I'll have the day pretty much to myself. So for a few hours, just have the live stream on, have some music, and push it together. Basically like an IKEA construction. It will basically be an IKEA construction stream. So more if IKEA will sponsor it. That'd be nice. Putting together the office, putting up decorations, because you can't really see much, but in that direction there's a lot of books, in that direction there's a lot of robots, and on that side of the screens there is a wall which is covered in photos and art and all that sort of malarkey. So I've got to find out where all that is going to go once I move. So there may be coming either across December or in January for sure. Definitely more live streams because I enjoy them over VOD. There's two reasons. One's a simple reason, the other's a less simple reason. It just looks darker. I need to. Same thing over here. I'll sense it a little bit, makes it look a little bit different. Anyway, the point I was making. What was the point I was making? Yeah, things are changing. Not sure when, but they will be. I'm definitely planning on it. Oh yeah, that's why I prefer doing live streams. I'm definitely going up on tangents today. I prefer doing live streams for two reasons. One is because it's nice to actually have some physical interaction with people. Well, not physical, but like digital interaction with people, to talk and chat when there are people in this room. I like to hang out. I think that's fair to say. Just to make sure I've got those, yeah. I like to hang out and have like the chat and the fun and all that jazz, and see how things are going with you all and keep up to date with things. I also, by doing live streams, don't have to edit and jack. Oops. I need to do you first. Okay, he's away. That's about the same size. Let's shift it that way. Nope. There we go. Blah, 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 blah. Let's go. Sample all layers. Let's go. Right, okay, what I need is, where's my red lines? There we go. Select, modify, expand. 20 pixels, see what that does. Yeah, select. That'll be fine. Ah. There we go. It's just slightly off like that. And we'll do the same again. Let's take the pen out of my mouth, that's going to stop me from sounding demented. There we go. That is. While I'm ordering that, I'm just going to dump it down and then once again give it a soft light. That is better than nothing. I just want to turn the lights off. That looks messy as hell. I know. What we could do just for giggles, if we just turn off, just flatten image to see what we can do with the filter gallery, because sometimes adding a decent filter gallery to something makes all the difference. I don't need two. Cutout kind of looks fun. Yellow. Post Fisco there. That looks very comic booky now. Comic book kind of works. Poster edges, okay. I'm going to remember poster edges. I think poster edges could work. Crosshatch, are you doing anything? No. In colours, no. Straight stroke. Tell you what, if we did the way around. It makes a difference. I like the staggered effect. But I digress, we're not going to do that. Let's uncompress everything. I can't just lock that. I have to make it visible before I lock it. Cool. Let's lock the background. Let's turn the lights back on just for that. Okay. And again, we're going to do a similar thing to our planet over here with the moons. But we're not going to highlight them. I don't think they're big enough to bother highlighting. Come on. Brush. And again. Or a bit like kind of a bit like then just turn down. That works. And the problem is when you turn the lines, that planet's just a blob. That's right, because again, I'm getting overly attached to something that is not going to be the final product. Because you also got to remember, at some point, with whenever creating any kind of book cover, you've got to remember, at some point, there we go, that some point when you're doing anything, you're going to have and that's on it. Because that's always the way it goes. Anyway, thank you for joining us for this hour stream. I'm going to take a little bit of an early finish today for two reasons. One, I've yet to eat anything, so I'm going to make myself a sandwich before I have to start the other things I need to do today. And second, so I think that's kind of a good place to leave it, because next week I'm just faffing with this now, because I've already kind of in my head decided that I want to move forward with whatever this design is, which means I need to make a spaceship, but properly. So next week's either going to be just jumping headfirst into it, as we often do, and just building a massive spaceship in 3D, or doing a little bit of planning for a spaceship, and then just starting the build of it. But we shall see, because this is kind of good and I kind of like it, and if anybody is writing a sci-fi novel or a space novel or in description, would like a cover that looks similar to this but not exactly this, because this isn't very good. This is going to be available, I'll just pop it out there. It's available for whoever wants it. And in the meantime, thank you very much for coming to Lite Byte. Again, we'll do an outro, because I need to practice and get better at remembering to do an outro in the first place. So thank you for coming. My name is Cennamo-Smith. I am an author of crime, fantasy, sci-fi and horror. If you've enjoyed the stream, a like, subscribe, follow, all of those things make a huge difference to me. You will also get notified of any more of this nonsense. Some of it's a lot more entertaining. Sunday nights is chill video games, so I say chill, at the minute it's Silksong, which is not very chill in the slightest, though it is beautiful and melodic and lovely to look at. It's like getting beaten to death by a symphonic orchestra and a team of very, very talented artists. Anyway, I digress. If you've enjoyed this, a like, subscribe, follow, all those things help me tremendously. If you are more interested in books and reading and want to know exactly what it is I do when I'm not making nonsense on the internet, I'm writing nonsense on the internet, there is a link below to my website where you can find all of my published works. There is a link to Patreon where you can find all of my published works as well. And if you sign up for the tier level 3, you get all of my books included in your subscription for free. If you sign up for any of the other tiers, you get three chapters of Italy every month. So the second month, first, here's the layout. Let's do this a bit better. Let's take a breath and out. There we go. Okay, so first Monday of every month, you have a monthly update of what I'm doing, where I'm going to be, and what's going on. Second Monday of every month, you get a chapter of Insecticide, a noir crime thriller. Available every month. Second Monday of every month. Third Monday of every month, because I like Mondays for some reason. I'm the opposite of Garfield, although I also enjoy lasagna. Third Monday of every month, you get a light novel chapter, a chapter of the light novel series Tavern Tales, which is, as I said, a light novel, cozy, slice of life kind of style, bit of fantasy as well. And the last Monday of every month, which depends, because sometimes they have 5 weeks in them. Sometimes the month has 5 weeks, so I get 1 week off on those occasions because I've got a lot to do anyway. So the last Monday of every month, you get a short story chosen by Patreons, subscribers, and Instagram followers. You all decide what the story is going to be, and I write it for you via voting democratically. Yeah, and that's it. There's also some behind-the-scenes stuff and some worse. If you sign up for my Patreon and want to go entirely free, that's fine. You are welcome. I accept you. Hello, thank you for being here. Where was I? Yeah, you don't get Insecticide. You don't get Tavern Tales. You do get the first chapter of all of those, so you can see what it is you're getting into if you just want to have a look. You get the first chapter of all of those, but you don't get the following chapters. What you do get is a month after its release, you get the short story chosen by patrons and followers. That's exactly what you get for free. So it's a month later than everybody else, but you do get it. You also get the monthly update and various other bits and pieces that happen. So there is still something there to encourage you to go free. There's currently a 7-day free trial going on as well, so you're welcome to sign up for that, see if you like it, have a read of everything, see where it goes. If you want to sign up for the Discord, that's free. That's included in Patreon as well, but it's also just, if you click the link down there, you're in. Welcome, hello, nice to see you. So yeah, for the time being, that's all I have. I will see you Sunday night. Probably quite exhausted because of life and everything, but we are going to just be hanging out and playing some video games. We're going to be beating our head against Silksong because I will not be defeated by a Soulsborne roguelike. In the meantime, have a lovely day, have a lovely weekend, and I'll see you Sunday night. TTFN. I need to get one of those Stream Deck things so I can just tap a button. In the meantime, I've got to drag a mouse over here. And bye.